What is oddly happening on Pluto? For a very long time, Pluto was regarded as the ninth planet in the solar system. However, it is no longer so. Scientists continue to be interested in it since it is the largest celestial body in the Kuiper Belt, a region beyond Neptune's orbit. In July 2013, NASA's New Horizons mission released the first clear photographs of the minor planet Pluto after nearly a century of discovery. Although these photographs initially lacked a lot of information, scientists have gradually exposed the dwarf planet's mysteries and found that astonishing things are occurring on Pluto. Ice volcanoes. The first thing that struck you was how sharply Pluto's surface was captured. In the photos taken by the New Horizons spacecraft, this dwarf planet appears to have a white surface covered in ice, but if we look at it much more closely, we can discern what appear to be mountain peaks. These peaks are cryovolcanoes, it has been determined after extensive investigation. An ice volcano is known as a cryovolcano. As you may have heard, Pluto has ice volcanoes in contrast to Earth's lava volcanoes. Don't get very enthusiastic, though. In fact, this has already been detected on other bodies in the solar system, including the moon of Saturn, Enceladus, which possesses this type of cryovolcano. The odd thing about this situation is that volcanism can only develop if a heat source is causing the eruptions. On Earth, volcanic eruptions are brought on by the planet's core's radioactive decay. When the pressure of the Earth's internal heat pushes lava and stored gases into the atmosphere, a volcanic eruption results. Volcanic eruptions can also be triggered by the gravitational attraction of a bigger body. For instance, Jupiter's gravitational pulls create a powerful tidal force in the satellite's core, which is why Io, one of Jupiter's satellites, has the highest level of volcanic activity of any object in the solar system. It results in volcanic outbursts in the end. What occurs, nevertheless, on Pluto? Pluto does not experience gravitational force from any of its moons, contrary to what was once thought, nor does it contain accumulated heat in its core like the Earth. Therefore, what causes the eruptions on Pluto? The heat generated by Pluto's outbursts could come from within, according to the only explanation offered by scientists. It's possible that several bodies in the solar system, like Europa or Enceladus, have oceans like this one that are perpetually liquid. Recall how we said there is also cryovolcanism on the Enceladus satellite? The low temperature of the ice combined with the high temperature of the ocean, just over 0 degrees Celsius, and this example results in ice volcanism. Cryovolcanoes are not always created by high temperatures, but rather by significant temperature disparities. Liquid water substitutes for magma or lava and ice for rock in this kind of cold volcanism. Pluto's cryovolcanic eruptions could very well be caused by this, which would mean that the dwarf planet is not as cold and still as we previously believed, but rather a body that is very active internally. Not one impact crater. The fact that Pluto exhibits almost no traces of asteroid collisions, in contrast to other far-off celestial worlds, is another intriguing mystery revealed by the photographs taken by the New Horizons expedition. On Pluto, asteroid impacts do happen, but they are obscured by something. For instance, on Earth, asteroid collisions are seldom ever noticed, in contrast to the Moon, which has hundreds of impact craters. This is due to the fact that erosion on Earth gradually covers craters and erases all evidence of them, whereas on the Moon there is no atmosphere and no tectonic activity, so the craters last forever. Few impact craters on Pluto indicate that it is being covered by something, which could be cryovolcanic eruptions. This would imply that Pluto would experience greater activity than other solar system bodies, even Mercury. Considering that it is a tiny, chilly, and far-off heavenly body, this is quite fascinating. Leave a like if you like this video and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Recent activity. Scientists have recently noticed odd lumps that had never before been seen in the solar system thanks to the photographs captured by the New Horizons mission. This suggests that there were active ice volcanoes on Pluto that may rise up to 7 kilometers in height. Pluto's diameter is 1/6 that of the Earth, to give you an idea. A small celestial body with volcanoes that high has never been observed before. It's as if there were a volcano here that was 5 times as high as Mount Everest. NASA images have allowed a team led by the Southwest Research Institute in Colorado to explore an area southwest of Sputnik Planitia, the frozen plain close to the dwarf planet's equator, which is characterized by considerable uneven elevations. The team claims that no other solar system object has features like these, and it has studied geomorphology and chemistry to determine that the region was formed by cryovolcanic processes that are currently exclusive to Pluto. The data indicates that Pluto's internal temperature has remained higher than previously believed for a sufficient amount of time to permit that behavior. Planetary scientist Kelsey Singer of the Southwest Research Institute in Colorado said that cryovolcanoes release a thick, murky mixture of water and ice, or perhaps even a solid flow like Earth's glaciers instead of lava. There are areas of enormous ice volcanoes with a fascinating texture of undulating relief on this dwarf planet. Although it's difficult to pinpoint exactly when these volcanoes formed, Singer said, we suspect they may be a few 100 million years old or perhaps younger. The absence of impact craters from asteroids in the area where these formations are found does not preclude the likelihood that ice volcanoes are still forming there now. Consider that despite our making all these amazing findings, the New Horizons spacecraft only made one close encounter with Pluto. But the only way to find out if these occurrences persist is to send a new expedition to Pluto, which will image the planet and check to see if any new volcanoes have emerged. If so, it would be necessary to consider a fantastic option. Can water be found on Pluto? Consider the following. A small body like Pluto, which should have long since lost the majority of its internal heat, was able to hold onto enough energy to support unusually vast geological activity. The researchers looked at images of a region that was dominated by Wright Mons and Picard Mons, 2 sizable mounds that are thought to be cryovolcanoes. Compared to Picard Mons, which is roughly 7 kilometers high and 250 kilometers broad, Wright Mons is a mountain that is 4 to 5 kilometers high and about 150 kilometers wide. The peaks of the alleged ice volcanoes also contain deep depressions. Along with having an odd appearance, several areas of the region are filled with lumps or mounds made up of wavy and spherical mounds. These 2 core mounds may have developed over time from smaller ice volcanic mounds, according to the experts. It would suggest that Pluto's cryovolcano activity would be anticipated. This location is the only one on Pluto that resembles it. These landforms don't resemble any volcanoes in the solar system, whether they are rocky or icy ones. They have huge bumps all over them and are constructed like mountains, but there is no caldera at the top. Anything distinct. There is a slim chance that liquid water is present on Pluto and other solar system bodies like Europa or Enceladus, given the overwhelming evidence of cryovolcanic activity on Pluto. Pluto has some circumstances that could allow for the presence of water beneath its ice sheets, even though it is situated in one of the coldest regions of the solar system. This water would be present beneath select areas of the dwarf planet, not in the form of a massive ocean like the one hypothesized to exist beneath Jupiter's moon Europa. Cryovolcanism would result from temperature variations between water and ice brought on by the internal heat that was trapped inside. Every detail is ideal. Or not. The reality is that this isn't totally true. Although it's a possibility, we don't have enough information to confirm if Pluto's cryovolcanism is now active. Instead, the photographs suggest that, if there have been ice eruptions, they happened millions of years ago. We cannot assert that such action is still taking place on Pluto now, despite the fact that 1 million years is not very long in terms of astronomical timescales. The only way to get the answers to these inquiries is to deploy another scout spacecraft. But what if we take it a step farther, since we use our knowledge to conjure up hypothetical situations? On Pluto, is there a chance of life? Even the possibility of life would not be out of the question if liquid water existed beneath Pluto's massive ice covers. Keep in mind that one of the most essential elements for life on a planet or other celestial body is water. Life exists wherever there is water. Sadly, all of these are only hypotheses, and it is difficult to know for sure whether Pluto has liquid water, much less life. Still, it is still fun to imagine. There is still much to learn about this dwarf planet so far away. Up to this point, all we know about Pluto comes from the few pictures and data that the New Horizons spacecraft has sent our way. How do you feel? Do you believe there may possibly be liquid water or perhaps life on Pluto? Share your thoughts with us in a thoughtful remark.